Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Hey everyone, welcome to Dear Dad with Ivan and Brad. He's Ivan, and I'm Brad. Ivan, what are we going to talk about today?
I can't even say the word.
Consumerism.
Consumerism. I've never used that word in
really?
my life.
To consume?
I mean,
Consume
consumerism,
things?
that word,
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
never used it.
Okay.
What does it mean exactly?
Well, I'm thinking like in terms of like good or bad. I mean, like we all have to consume things. Mm-hmm. But can you become too consumed with consuming things? So as
100%.
Yeah. And so I think the hardest thing is...
Does that include addictions?
Well, I would say no, because you can't control it, I guess. Are you talking like cigarettes? Like if you're addicted to cigarettes?
Or like gambling, you know?
No, I don't think gambling has to do with like consumerism per se. I think it's more like buying things. Like you just buy too much of something.
Which could also become an addiction, right?
I guess.
Like a woman can be addicted to buying purses. A man can be addicted to buying shoes. Things like that, right?
Consumerism. The protection or promotion of the interests of consumers. The preoccupation of society with the acquisition of consumer goods. So just, the preoccupation, like you're so consumed with consuming stuff, just buying stuff. I think it's more or less just buying stuff, not so much that becomes a habit, but that you just feel like you need to buy stuff or you want to buy stuff. I would say it's bad from a point of view of we set examples for our kids, and I think if you just buy whatever you want, whenever you want, just because you can afford it, isn't a good example to our kids per se. And it almost makes you have to turn into a hoarder unless you just live in a mansion and can put stuff wherever. But I'm like, how much stuff can you possibly buy until you start running out of room, or it's like, oh man, I had to have it, and you know what I'm saying?
Well, you should get rid of the old stuff as you're buying new stuff, right?
Yeah, I think that's the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether we do it or not is another story.
And also part of that is buying your kids so many things, spoiling them, and then getting them used to that.
Right.
Because right now you could buy 5 pairs of shoes every time you go shopping because shoes are cheap in that size. Mm-hmm. But then when your son is 15, his foot's a little bigger.
Right.
You're not going to be able to afford 5 shoes anymore. But he's still going to expect 5 shoes.
Right.
Because you've instilled that in them, right? Mm-hmm. It's so hard not to spoil your kids, man. It's so hard.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like buying my kids stuff, but I don't buy them stuff on a regular basis. Even sometimes if they want it, you know, I mean, I don't mind like stopping off at like Dairy Queen and getting them something out of the ordinary. Like if they're not expecting it, to me, it's more like a surprise,
a treat.
Yeah. But yeah, just, I don't know, buying them stuff constantly. To me, I feel like I want to instill in them a work ethic of you need to learn to work for what you want. And if you work really hard and you come up short, I don't mind helping you out. Let's say like my son, he wanted to buy himself some new boots. He's had them now for the last 3 to 4 or 5 months now. And maybe he's had them for a year. I can't remember now. Anyways, so he worked or used some of his money. One of the two. He got money somehow. It might have been birthday or Christmas money or something. So he took that money and he wanted to go buy
selling drugs.
Yeah. And so somehow he had some money in his pocket. I didn't ask him how. But anyway, so he wanted to buy some boots. Well, they're a little bit out of his price budget. And so I could have said, hey, those are too much. You can't afford those. Find something else. But it was his first pair of boots he was ever buying. He really liked them. I said, are those the ones that you want? And he goes, well, I do, but they're I don't have that much money. I said, well, I'll help you out. I said, these are your first boots, and I don't mind helping you out. Because I knew he was taking a lot of his money, pretty much all of his money. If he said he wasn't going to have any more money, then that means he was spending everything he had on it. So for me, I'm like, I don't have a problem buying my son the additional part that he couldn't afford.
But then that would be a good teaching moment, because even though your son doesn't have responsibilities right now, it'd be a good, like I said, a good teaching point. Because if he says that I'm gonna buy these boots, I've worked so hard, I've saved so much money. The boots cost $200. I have $200. I'm gonna go buy them. Then it all depends on how also you guys live your lives,
Right.
and all these things, right? But you can say that's all your money, though. What if tomorrow you like a girl and she wants you to go to the movies with her? You're not gonna have money to pay for that,
Right.
or whatever.
Oh,
anything.
I agree.
Right?
I completely agree.
So instead of saying, "Hey, go buy the $200 boots with your $200," say, "Why don't you wait one more month? Maybe then you can save $250. That way, when you buy your boots, you'll have $50 in your pocket."
Right.
Right.
Or if that girl comes by next week and asks you to take her out, you now have money to take her out.
Exactly.
And then you can get the money back up.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Because what you're doing there is providing a crutch for him. So he's going to come to you in 5 years to say, "Hey, Dad, I have all of these bills. I need your help with my insurance because I can't quite cover it." Then it's going to be too late already, because he should know in his life that he needs to be able to cover all his bills first before anything, because he can't go buy $200 boots, have a F-350 and whatever else he might like, but not pay your bills.
Right.
You know, that's something that's going on with my brother Johnny right now, is that he likes spending money on these things. He likes eating out. He likes his coffees. He likes driving around, everything, hanging out. It's fine. That's great, dude. But your mom is asking you to cover some things around the house because you're getting to an age where you need to start learning responsibility. You know, he's 18 years old. So if my mom tells him, "Hey, you're going to pay me $200 in rent, you're going to pay your own insurance, you're going to do this, you're going to do that," you need to make sure that you cover all your bills before you are able to go have fun. Right? It just happened where he needed to pay rent, and he's like, "I don't have it." When he's on his way out to go eat with his friends. That's literally what happened.
Wow. Yeah. And that's, yeah. And sometimes it's a tough pill to swallow for the parent and also for the kid, because as a parent, you don't want to deny your kid.
Right.
At the same time, you have to look at the current situation and say, what lesson will he learn if he doesn't get to go out? You know, and you're like, you know, you just tell him, like, "Sorry, buddy. You know, I mean, I know you want to go out with your buddies, and you told him you'd be out tonight, but I need rent, and you don't have all of it, but I need what you have. So you owe me $200, and you only have 150 or 125. You owe me the 150.
Yeah. Well, which is fine. Maybe next time they'll learn. I need to get that 200.
Right. Yeah. No, you're exactly right. And I think too, it's a way of teaching them, like, you need to stand behind your word.
Yeah.
If you told me you're going to do something, it's not me being mean to you. You're actually being mean to yourself right now, because now you just gave me all your money. You don't have anything left. Now you can't go out with your buddies for probably another week or two until you get paid again. Yeah. And then even then, you still owe me some money. So
yeah.
You know, so yeah, it's hard. Have you seen they did this experiment? I'm sure they've done it multiple times, but they did this experiment with kids. And what they did is they put them in a room with a plate, and the plate had like 1 or 2 marshmallows on it, and they're big marshmallows. So they're sitting there, and they say, "Hey, don't eat this till we come back." And so
they leave.
And so some of the kids could wait, and some of them couldn't. But anyways, they followed these kids for like 20 years to find out where they were 20 years from now. And all the kids who waited and
Are
showed
doing well.
patience are doing well in life because they weren't impulsive
Really?
with getting that marshmallow, and the ones who were impulsive with getting the marshmallow turned out they were impulsive with their money, impulsive with their decisions, and so it was kind of like a life trait that they just happened to have, and I think it's something that we can learn to control.
How old were they when they tested them?
I feel like they were like between 5 and 8.
Okay, I'm gonna do it with my kids. Let's see
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah, I can't remember what the age was, but I just remember watching the video and then hearing the responses, like 20 years later, because it was an older video, and they said, yeah, these kids turned out this way or that way, and I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. And I think that sometimes you can break that cycle, but it has to be taught.
Yeah, by example,
Yeah.
by experience.
Mm-hmm.
You
can even do it with M&Ms. You can do it with anything. Just count how many are on the plate. Like, hey, guys, don't eat these until I come back. Because I just saw it just the other day. And it wasn't the experiment, but it was like a YouTube video, and these kids left.
I've seen that before,
and
too.
the brother looks at the other brother, and right. And they both grabbed like one M&M and ate it. And then the other one grabbed like a second one, ate it real quick, and then they just waited until the parents came back. Some kids on that one with the marshmallow, they would sit there and like nibble on it. They'd like just take little bites and then put it back and sit there and stare at it for a while. It's amazing. Like, I've been telling you this. So I've been doing this fasting, and it's amazing that you instantly, as soon as you know you're going to do the fast, you all of a sudden just start regretting it. Like instantly. You're like, why did I even choose to do this? Because if you decide to fast for three or 4 days or whatever, and my goal, like I told you before, was 30 days. I went almost a full 5 days doing it. But like day one, instantly, where does my mind go? Breakfast. Oh, and then all of a sudden I'm watching the clock tick by, and it's 11, then it's 11:30.
Time moves slow, huh?
Well, not only that, but when it hit noon, I'm like, man, I would normally eat about this time.
Yeah.
And now I can't. And then I'm just kind of, but like you said, time goes slow. So then dinner time comes, and I'm used to coming home. I know my wife's going to have something good for me to eat, and all of a sudden, bam, I couldn't eat. And it was like instantly your mind starts playing with you, and then that's all you focus on. It's
the
like
mind is so tricky, man.
Yep.
That's why I think I've mentioned this before. I have such a different view on drug addicts because it's like when you try to diet, even not even just fasting, just diet, you have to like force yourself not to pull into that McDonald's. Or you do pull into the McDonald's and you're just like, fuck, I'm at McDonald's. Like that's happened to me. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here. Why am I here? And it's just your mind. You know what I'm saying? Or same thing with like cigarettes. So imagine something so little like food and cigarettes, and then multiply that by 1,000 when it comes to freaking crystal meth. That really takes over a person's mind and body and life.
Right.
So now I'm not just like, oh, this junkie over here, get out of my way. I'm just like, I feel bad for them because I know that, yeah, they made those choices, but now it's at a point where their mind is too weak.
Right. And it might even be deteriorated based on the drug they're doing.
Right.
Where they came and, they'll have that like moment of clarity, but it might only be like maybe an hour, or it might only be for like a glimpse, like 5 minutes. Yeah. And all of a sudden they're like, man, I need to stop doing this stuff. I'm really hurting myself. And then bam, all of a sudden it takes over and they're jonesing for another hit, and I found out that a lot of people who get on drugs started on painkillers from their doctor for an injury that they actually legitimately had.
Oh, and that's a big issue in the U.S. Yep. The fact that the doctors are providing everything. Right now that my dad was in the hospital, my mom was very worried because they were giving him a lot of pain medicine, and my dad is an ex-drug addict. So she was telling me, she's like, you need to tell him to stop giving him that stuff because he's going to get hooked again, which is true. But when I was trying to speak to the doctor, she was like, not really caring. You know what I'm saying? They're like, it was just strange. You can't just tell the doctor, don't give him that. Give him something else.
Right.
Because they're not going to listen to you.
I would say a lot of times they might only know the one thing. They only know one way of helping someone, and it's not necessarily healing them. It's just suppressing
The
a
pain,
pain
yeah.
of some sort, or temporarily taking it away.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, and then their goal obviously is hopefully the person doesn't need to keep doing it. And so, is everything good with your dad now? Or I haven't talked to you about that.
Yeah, he's out of the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to be doing a little bit better now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of his pain is in his chest from they broke a few of his ribs when they were doing CPR.
I remember you telling me that.
So that's part of the pain, and
for like ribs, man, you can't have like a body cast or anything. They just gotta heal.
yeah,
Man, so and it's such a key part of your body where you can't stop it from moving. Like you lay on it, you're standing with it there, your lungs are constantly moving them in and out from breathing. So
that. And they did CPR on him 3 times.
Oh,
So when did those ribs break? Was it on the first one, and then they were still pushing on him?
Mm-hmm.
Was it on the second one, and they were still pushing on him? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or was it at the end when they finally just gave in?
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
you don't know.
You don't, yeah.
So, they took him out of the hospital. So that shows that he's better. But
Yeah. Is he still taking some medication, like painkillers?
hardcore stuff, I don't know exactly what he's taking.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think so. He
Gotcha.
seems okay.
Yeah,
You know.
that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I think we'll see what happens. I think he's gonna be okay. He doesn't look like he's dying anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I brought him out of the hospital, when I picked him up from the hospital, they take him out in a wheelchair, and I was like, the lady was like, move your car forward so I can wheel him to the door. I was like, we weren't even that far from the car. I was like, no, that's fine. He can walk to the car. She was like, no. I was like, can he not walk? Why are you taking him out of the hospital if he can't walk?
Mm-hmm.
Right? She's like, no, it's just because of the thing. It's easier. I was like, no, it's fine. We're literally right next to the car. I don't know what her problem was. But he looked really weak, and he was in a lot of pain when I picked him up. But that was, I think I picked him up Thursday or Friday or something like that. I don't even remember anymore. I really don't remember. It was sometime last week, and he's starting to look a little better now.
That's good.
He's not like moaning in agony anymore from the pain. But we'll see. The real issue is not even the pain; it's his organs are failing him. So we have to see if those will keep up with him and maintain.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, it's tough. What were we talking about?
Consumerism.
Okay.
And we talked about just drugs, and we were going on the side trail of, is it addiction that causes consumerism sometimes?
It is.
However, and I agree. I agree that it could become an addiction just to want to buy something. But I think it's also just a habit. Like you go to the store, and like you're in line to check out, and you think you got to reach over and grab the bubble gum or that candy bar for their trip, or that soda or whatever it might be. Yeah,
or Amazon, dude.
Yeah.
You can you could just sit here on your phone and be a shopaholic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, so I was listening to Warren Buffett one time in an interview, and I mean, obviously the guy's a billionaire, and he was saying, because he loves Diet Coke, loves it. He drinks at least 1 or 2 Diet Cokes a day. I think it's at least 1. And he's
the one that eats McDonald's for breakfast every day, right?
Probably
Is that him?
so. Yeah, I think so. And he just basically said, he goes, sometimes I look back and think, if I didn't drink this Diet Coke every day, and I put that money towards my investments, how much more money would I have if I would turn that $1 into over the course of all these years of spending $1 a day or whatever it was at the time. And I think sometimes when we don't know what our money can do for us, we don't know anything else but how to spend it. And sometimes if someone is used to spending, like if you get $100 on your paycheck and you spend that full $100, and then the next week you get more money because you either worked more hours or you got some overtime pay
Or a
maybe,
raise.
yeah, or a raise. Now you think, oh, I got $150. Normally I only have 100. What can I do with this extra $50? I've always
Instead of
wanted
saving it.
Yeah, you instantly think, man, I haven't had that hat that I've been wanting in a while, or I've been wanting to take my girl out for this nice meal, and now I got a little extra money, and so you spend it, and then you never teach yourself how to put money away or how to save it, and so it doesn't matter. Like all of a sudden now you're not making 150 a paycheck. Now you're making like 1,500 a paycheck, or 15,000 a paycheck, and you do the exact same thing. Like what kind of car, house. What are my favorite hobbies? Where can I spend my money? And you start thinking, I'm going to buy nicer things. And sometimes I think we can just get too consumed with having to have the newest stuff. Like just because the Joneses next door have a brand new car and they have new clothes and, he just bought himself some new clubs because he's a big golfer and he came over and showed them to you. And he even asked you, like, Ivan, when are you going to get yourself some new clubs, man? I know you love playing. When are you getting yourself some new clubs? And you're like, probably not for a while.
Or just the envy, like, oh, he got new clubs,
Right.
I need new clubs.
Yeah, because you don't want to be outdone by him.
Yeah.
And then we think we're almost like required to go get new clubs now because he asked us about them or he showed us his. And I just think it's such a terrible trap to be in because some of the people, and we may have talked about this before, but some of the people I have the most respect for are like the millionaires who drive around in those beater trucks and they get out of the truck with their flannel and jeans on or just a work shirt of some sort. And you look at them and you'd have no idea
that they're rich.
They got like $5 million sitting in the bank or $50 million sitting in the bank and they don't need to spend it. They're going to the grocery store on their normal usual day, their normal usual routine, and they go to the store and they buy themselves their little meal or whatever they need, take it back home and do their thing. And here we are trying to, put our nicest clothes on. When can I finally afford that Lamborghini? Maybe you're just trying to rent the Lamborghini for a day. I just want to rent that dang Lamborghini for a day just so I can make it look like I have money. When in reality, we'll never have that money. Like it's a fake ploy of us trying to pretend that we're somebody when we're really not that person.
Well, you're also trying to become something too, because
sometimes
when you do get that money, like we talked about before, you want to upgrade your life. So, why if I drive a 1990 Ford Ranger and then I come up on $1 million, why would I not want to get me a 2020 F-150? You know what I'm saying? You do want to upgrade your life a little bit.
Sure, yeah, you want to make it a little bit more manageable.
But maybe not go from a Ford Ranger 1996 to a 2022 Lamborghini.
Right.
That's
right. And that's one thing Grant Cardone, for anybody who knows who he is, he said, the first thing I see these guys who go out and make $1 million, they go spend $250,000 on a Lamborghini. He goes, why are you spending $250,000 on a Lamborghini? He goes, do you know that the stuff I have, the expensive watches and the cars I drive and the house I live in, I had them after like decades of becoming a multi-millionaire. Not after I made my first million.
right.
It was when I became a multi-millionaire. Not just 5 or 10 million, but so that's one thing that people need to understand, that these people you see driving all this cool stuff, like, okay, some of them might be NBA players. They got their first contract. They went out and bought their mom a new house and got themselves a new house. Yeah, some of them did do that, and they went out and bought themselves something. But that doesn't mean you need to be that person.
They're also making so much money.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're not only making $1 million.
Right.
They're making hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. So I think it's wise to teach our kids to save. I think it's good for us to learn to not have to spend our money right away.
Or not spoil our kids.
Right. I mean, I'm huge into martial arts, and I love knives, and I love throwing knives. I love just pocket knives. I love, whatever it is. I would love to go out and buy myself new throwing knives all the time, or a new cool looking machete, or a nice cool new not pocket knife that I can put in my pocket. And but I don't need to keep doing all that stuff. Like I have some, and what's cool to me is if I can hold on to some of these things, especially like the pocket knives, hold on to them for a long time, and then give it to my sons and say, hey, I've had this one for 20 years. I probably sharpen it every few months. I don't use it a whole lot, but I use it for certain things.
How do you sharpen a pocket knife?
Like on the stone? Yeah, different stones. Yeah, so and then there's sometimes, it's like a cylinder you can just hold and, like for cooking knives. You can do that with, but most time with a pocket knife, you just kind of go along a rock at like a 30, 35 degree angle and kind of.
Any rock?
No. It's a
stone.
A stone,
for
sharpened
that.
stone.
Yeah.
Yep. Usually they're flat and made for that. But yeah, no, I cherish stuff like that. I think if you're someone who owns guns, be able to pass down a family gun to your kids and say, this rifle I've taken hunting tons of times. Actually, your grandfather gave it to me, and I want to give it to you, and stuff. Those kind of things are neat. So I don't know. I just think that learning patience for ourselves, and because we have kids watching us, especially you and me, we have kids.
That is one thing I need to be better at. I recognize that I do not set a good example, but it's just because I enjoy giving my kids everything. They get new cleats all the time. They get new toys, or new clothes, and I don't know. I'm not gonna say that I didn't have those things, because I did have pretty much everything I wanted. Pretty much, not always everything, because also my mom isn't crazy rich. But like I like giving my kids cool stuff. Like I could go out. This is what I mean. I could go out and buy my kids some Skechers, but I'd rather buy them some Nikes. I could shop for them at Fred Meyer for clothes. Like I shop for my clothes at Fred Meyer. I don't care. But for them, we go to Nike or wherever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I like giving them nicer things. And my mom was telling me yesterday, your daughter's going to be expensive because she likes makeup. And I'm just like, I know. But at the same time, I don't mind. Like, I think at the same time, it also feels nice that our kids depend on us to get them some stuff because we feel like they need us still.
Yeah.
Right? Because eventually they're going to get to a point where they don't need you for anything.
And I'm at a point now where I want my kids to go out and buy their own stuff. I don't mind buying them stuff. I really want them to feel the satisfaction of knowing they did it themselves. So like my youngest one, for his his stepdaddy did some
What'd you call him?
Stepdad.
Oh,
but then I added he right afterwards, so it made it sound like I called him stepdaddy. Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah, no. For a stepdad, he did some stuff around their house there, and he got some money for it, which allowed him to go out and buy like a new cowboy hat. I guess he's looking at some new boots or belt and stuff. So I know it made him feel proud to be able to go out and make that money. And then even my oldest son, who wasn't real keen on knowing if he wanted to get a job this summer because he didn't know if he's going to be able to see his girlfriend a whole lot, if his whole entire summer was going to be taken up working, he was never going to have time to play his games and other stuff. But it's like he found out when he started having all this money going to his bank account, and I asked him the other day like how much he had, and he told me. I'm like, good for you, buddy. I'm like, now realize school is starting up again. You're not going to be working anymore for the time being. So realize that money's got to last you for 9 months. And I said, and you got a girlfriend. I said, so remember, Christmas is coming. Valentine's Day is coming. Her birthday is right between both of those. I just found out. So I'm like,
plus everything you guys want to do in between all that.
Yeah. So I told myself for those 3 months, dude, you're going to be forking out some money. Plus every once in a while you're going to want to take her out to eat or buy her some flowers or just something. I said, then you're going to want to do stuff with your buddies or do stuff for yourself. I said, so just make sure you ration your money out properly so it lasts you not just the 9 months, but at the end of school, you can say, hey, Dad, I still got this much money in my bank account. Because you don't want to get to the end of the school year and be like, oh, my gosh, I got to find a job tomorrow because I don't have any more money in my bank account. Like, that's not what you want.
Something good, too, you can do is say, I'll make you to help them learn how to save money, say, I'll make you a deal. you have X amount of, let's random number. You have $2,000 in your bank account right now. You're not working anymore because it's school time. Whatever you have at the end of the school year, I'll match. So it's up to you whether you want to save your money and have me match $1,500 or not save your money and have me only match you $2.
$5. Right, exactly, yeah.
Up to you. But
yeah,
I what's it called when you, like, I agree, I swear, I vow to give you, to match whatever money, I don't care what you spend your money on or don't spend your money on. Also, don't be coming to me asking me for money all the time, though. I want to see if you're able to save.
Right.
Which
I think is a great thing if you as a parent can afford to do that. Like if you know your kid has $2,000 and he's like, well, dang, I'm not spending one dime this whole entire year. And now you realize at the end of the year, you got to fork out $2,000 of your own dollars.
Good. Yeah. That's a great investment.
It is. Only if, as a parent, you have the money to put aside. Some parents
of
don't
course,
have
of
more
course,
money. But yeah, I think it's I like that idea. That's kind of a cool
well,
idea.
Well, also, if as a parent you can't afford the $2,000 to match, your son shouldn't have $2,000 either. He should be giving it to you because he needs to help the family, I think. Does that make any sense?
It does. I would only disagree from a point of view of
that could also be a culture thing.
Yeah, it could be a culture thing, but it could just be like you make good money, but all your money is taken up in bills, which is partially your fault as an adult. You know, if you allow all your money to be taken up by bills, you know what I'm saying? Like if every dollar you make is going towards a bill, then either you should cut down on your bills. So like if you have cable, you don't need cable.
Yeah.
Or go out and get a better job.
Right.
However, so yeah, I don't necessarily say it's up to the kids, but I do believe that kids should help parents if they're capable and the parents need the help.
Yeah, it's not I'm saying it's a responsibility. I'm saying they should be helping.
True. Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
You got a dad joke?
Man.
Our camera's about to die.
Oh, shoot. Okay, here we go. Ready? Whoops. Hit the wrong button here. Oh, come on. It's not going to work. Let's see if we get to it faster. Dad joke of the day. Where'd you go? There you go. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, I'm just going to do one real quick here. I only know 25 letters of the alphabet. I don't know why.
Yeah.
How does the moon cut its hair? Cut his hair. Eclipse it.
That's a good one. Is there a good one here? You're gonna laugh.
Okay.
Why did the golfer bring 2 pairs of pants?
I don't know.
In case he got a hole in one.
I like it. That's a good one.
Get us out of here.
All right. Hey, guys, you just watched another episode. Let us know in the comments, and we are serious. We want to hear from you guys. How much should parents spend on their kids? What percentage of income? How much income? Should they always help them out, or should they make them pay for everything? Let us know, and we'll see you on the next episode. Like us, subscribe us, share us, and comment. We'll see you guys next time.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.